Hello, moving further to the next part of our and the last part of our chapter, that's reproduction in plants. Now earlier we have seen pollination, agents of pollination and fertilization. Now as the fruit is being formed after fertilization process, we are further going to talk about the fruits and the seed. Now fruit, you already know, a fruit of a plant is a fertilized ovary. After fertilization, this ovary enlarges to form fruits. The fruits are formed, of course they are of different types. Yes, some of them are fleshy, some of them are dry. We have dry fruits even. A fruit protects the seed and helps in their dispersal. Okay, now the seeds which are present inside it, that is also dispersed again. There are also agents of dispersal of seeds which carries the seed from one place to another, and then a new plant is being produced by it or being generated by the process. Okay, so that we are going to see here. So fruit and seed. What is a fruit? A fruit is an edible part of the plant that contains a seed or the matured ovary of it. And what are the seeds? The seed is being divided into parts. Now seed, the outer structure of the seed, it's known as seed coat. It is the outer covering of a seed which has tiny pores known as micropyle, and water and oxygen enter through the micropyle during germination process. The next is storage tissue, where the mass is present underneath the outer covering, and that is known as cotyledon or seed leaves. It may be of single or broken into two parts. Of course, some you might have heard about monocot and dicot. So monocot are the ones which are a single seed leaves, and the one which is dicot, it has two parts which can be broken into different types. Then it stores food materials like proteins and carbohydrates to be utilized by the baby plant. Now the baby plant that is going to originate from the seed or come out from the seed is to be supplied by the food. So this cotyledon helps them to gain the food. The stored food is there, which consists of proteins and carbohydrate, that has been utilized by the baby plant for its growth. And then the third part is the embryo. Now it is present deep inside the seed. It has two parts, the radicle and the plumule. The embryo has two parts, the radicle and plumule. And we already know that the radicle, which is a part of the embryo that emerges out first, comes out first and forms root of the plant. Radicle grows into roots, and plumule is a part, is like a leafy part which develops afterwards and which grows into shoot system. Okay, the upper part of the plant which grows above the surface, it grows from the plumule, and this is how a shoot is being developed out of a seed. So this was all about seed. Now we are going to talk about dispersal of seed. As we have seen dispersal of earlier we have seen dispersal of pollen grains. Yes, how pollens are being transferred, they are being carried out from one place to another, and there are agents of dispersal. The same way the seeds also need to be dispersed from one place to another. Why? Because we could find more varieties of the similar kind of plant. So seeds need to be dispersed over a large area, or else there will be overcrowding of plants of the similar plant at one place. Okay, if it is not being dispersed, the seeds will fall there and all the apple plants will be at the same place. So it must not happen, and there will be variety of places where these plants are going, and therefore it needs to be dispersed from one place to another. Okay, now if the population is denser, there will be deficiency of food and shelter, and therefore there is a need of dispersal of seed. If same kind of plants are grown at one place, do we have 2 to 3 plants in the same pot? No, we have different pots for different plants, so that every one of them gets proper amount of nutrition, and therefore the dispersal of seed is very important. And why it is important? Even plants will fight for food as we fight. Yes, if 2 or 3 childs are there at home and they have been given a small bun or a cake, they'll fight for that if one piece is given. So the same way plants also will fight for food and shelter if they do not get proper supply of food, or if they fall deficient of it. Hence it is very important that seeds should be scattered away from the parent plant, and this helps in the better growth of the plant. Therefore, dispersal can take place in following ways, which we will see. The first way is by wind. Now, seeds which are light and small are easily carried away by wind. As we have already seen in dispersal of pollen, the same way here also, the seeds must be light weighted so that it can be carried out easily. And the examples of seed that get dispersed by wind are dandelion and cotton. Cotton is an example, a common example. Dandelion, you can find the second picture which is shown in the slide is the dandelion. Okay. Then the next is by water dispersal. Seeds of aquatic plants like lily and lotus are very light and are carried by water currents. Sometimes coconut which grows in river banks are also carried from one place to another with the help of water currents. So this is how the dispersal of seed take place. Now coconut, the whole coconut will only be dispersed by water, and then a leaf comes out from it which will give rise to a new plant. So this is how dispersal occurs with the help of water. Then the next method is by explosion, explosive dispersal. Now some plants have pods. They have pods, means they have been covered under a structure, a particular structure inside which the seeds are present. So these pods when explode, when they ripe, they explode and shoot out the seeds. So this is how also the seeds are being dispersed, but this process does not transfer the seeds at a certain long distance. Okay, the seed by explosion will fall at the small distance. It will not fall away or move towards a larger area. The examples of the plant by where the explosion method is being done is pea, cotton, bean plant. They scatter by this way. Then the next is dispersal by animals. Now some of the edible fruits like mango, papaya, they get carried away by animals while they have been eating it. Animals and human beings, they eat the pulp of this fruit and throw away the seeds elsewhere. So this is how dispersal by animals and human being is also being carried out by this method. Now here you can talk about many plants which are being dispersed, the seeds are being dispersed by this particular method. And the last topic of ours is germination of seed. Okay, this we have already studied in class 6th. So you all know how is the seed germinated. The seed requires certain conditions for them to germinate. Yes, you all know this. They require moisture, warmth and oxygen. If they have been supplied with all these things properly, then they start growing. Okay, if they are provided with sufficient nutrients to grow, then the plant will grow into the seed will grow, take stages and grow up into a new plant. And when a plant starts growing, it depends on the food which is stored inside the seed, and this is the only when leaves appear and they prepare food by the process of photosynthesis. So earlier when leaves are not there, whatever food is stored inside the embryo, as we have seen the parts of the seed, at the time of the radicle and plumule coming out of the seed, the embryo supplies it with the food, and once the leaves start coming from it, then the leaves start preparing food by the process of photosynthesis. So this was all about reproduction in plants, okay, where we have seen asexual and sexual reproduction. Thank you.